their team the best chance to win. But either way, whoever does win that quarterback battle, Andrew Berry's in putting them in a position to succeed this entire offseason.
After Dylan Gabriel exited the game early in the third quarter due to the concussion, he was replaced by Shedeur Sanders, who finally got a chance to be in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, he was awful.
Shedeur Sanders shocks the Browns locker room. And now people are saying teammates are starting to question the coaching staff. That's the headline floating around. And I get why it's catching fire, because anytime a young quarterback walks into an NFL building and immediately turns heads, the story writes itself. But let's slow this down just a little bit and really unpack what's happening inside the Cleveland Browns, because this is way more layered than just locker room turned or coaches losing control. Here's the part nobody is talking about. The shock isn't coming from one viral highlight or one perfect deep ball in practice. It's coming from consistency and small things that players feel immediately. Shedeur Sanders stepping in and showing command, timing, and decision-making in stretches where the offense has struggled before. That's what gets teammates talking. Wide receivers notice when the ball is arriving on time. Linemen notice when the quarterback isn't holding the ball forever. Running backs notice when the offense feels smoother. These aren't things fans always see, but inside a locker room, they matter a lot.
People have looked to try to find their faults anytime Shedeur, if there's a misstep, but I gotta be honest, I don't think he has had these missteps that people think he has had. I think he's handled, this role.
Now, let's introduce the elephant in the room, Deshaun Watson. This isn't a random quarterback battle where both guys are on equal footing. Watson is a major investment. The franchise tied its future to him financially and structurally. So when someone like Shedeur walks in and starts creating buzz, it doesn't just become a football story. It becomes a power dynamic story. And that's where things start to feel uncomfortable. This is where it gets dangerous, because perception inside a locker room can shift faster than reality on the field. If a few players start saying, hey, this guy looks different, that energy spreads. It doesn't mean they've turned on Watson. It doesn't mean they're against the coaching staff, but it does mean there's curiosity. And curiosity in a quarterback room is powerful, because that's the one position everyone watches closely. Now, about this idea that teammates are turning on the coaching staff, let's be real. That's a heavy claim. NFL locker rooms don't just flip like a switch. These are professionals. They've seen competition before. What's more likely happening is frustration mixed with uncertainty. If players feel like one guy is performing better in the moment, but the messaging from coaches doesn't reflect that, then yeah, they might start questioning things. Not publicly, not dramatically, but internally.
But Shedeur Sanders had the worst per-play efficiency rating by any quarterback in any game this season. It was bad. Completed his first couple of passes, and then after that, we couldn't even see if he was a quarterback. It was that bad.
Here's the part nobody is talking about. The coaching staff is walking a tightrope right now. On one side, you have the need to honor your long-term investment in Watson. On the other side, you have to maintain credibility with your locker room. Because if players start feeling like decisions are predetermined instead of earned, that's when real problems begin. It's not about picking Shedeur or Watson. It's about making sure the process feels real to everyone involved. This is where young players usually make a mistake. They let early success define them too quickly. And to Shedeur's credit, he hasn't said anything crazy. He hasn't gone out there calling himself QB1. The noise is coming from outside and from reactions around him. But the challenge for him now is simple. Can you stack days? Can you do this when defenses adjust? Can you do this when the pressure increases? Because one good stretch can get you attention, but sustained performance gets you the job.
But yeah, no, I think they'll take a huge step forward. It's going to come down to the quarterback position, though, whether it's Deshaun Watson or Shedeur Sanders, whoever wins that position battle, they've got to elevate their play and capitalize on the pieces that they got around them.
Let's talk about why this feels different, though, because Browns fans have been here before. They've heard the Watson looks great reports. They've seen the camp hype. And then when the game started, it didn't match. So now when they see someone new come in and create a spark, they're naturally going to latch onto it. It's not just about Shedeur being good. It's about fans wanting something to believe in again. And that energy, it leaks into the building. Players aren't robots. They hear the noise. They see social media. They know what fans are saying. And when that outside belief starts aligning with what some guys are feeling on the field, it amplifies everything.
because Deshaun Watson is an imposing physical character, and also based on their history. One guy has played at an all-pro level in the past. That was way long ago.
This is where it gets dangerous again, because now the coaching staff isn't just managing a quarterback competition, they're managing expectations. If they move too fast and crown Shedeur, they risk looking reactionary. If they stick too hard with Watson, despite what's happening in front of them, they risk losing trust. And in the NFL, trust inside a locker room is everything. Here's the part nobody's talking about. Shedeur's style might actually be what this offense needs right now. Not saying he's the better quarterback overall, not saying he's the future for sure, but stylistically, if he's getting the ball out quicker, if he's making simpler reads, if he's letting playmakers do their thing, that can make an offense feel alive again. Sometimes it's not about being more talented, it's about fitting the moment better. And when that happens, teammates respond. Receivers run routes harder, linemen block with more confidence, the entire unit starts to feel different. That's not magic, that's rhythm. And if Shedeur is creating that rhythm, even in small doses, it's going to stand out. Now, let's address the reality check. This is still early, very early. We're not talking about full-speed regular season defenses. We're not talking about complex game plans designed to stop him. Practice success is real, but it's not the final test. The NFL humbles quarterbacks quickly, especially young ones. So while the shock is real, it doesn't automatically mean he's ready to take over. This is where young players usually make a mistake again. They believe the early hype. If Shedeur stays grounded, keeps focusing on execution, and doesn't let the noise get to him, he gives himself a real shot. But if the narrative becomes bigger than the work, that's when things start to slip. Now, let's flip it back to Watson for a second, because this isn't just about Shedeur rising. It's about Watson being under more pressure than ever. Every throw he makes now is being compared. Every mistake is magnified, and that's tough, especially when you're trying to regain form. The margin for error shrinks fast when there's someone behind you creating buzz, and that's where the coaching staff's role becomes critical. They have to create a fair environment. They have to make sure both quarterbacks are evaluated properly, and most importantly, they have to communicate clearly, because confusion is what leads to division, not competition. Here's the part nobody's talking about. Competition is actually a good thing for this team. The Browns needed this. They needed urgency. They needed someone to push the room. And whether Shedeur wins the job or not, if he's forcing everyone to elevate their game, that's a win. But the bigger question is coming, because at some point, the Browns are going to have to make a decision. And when they do, it's not just about who's better on paper. It's about who gives them the best chance to win right now. Who the locker room believes in, who fits the system, who can handle the pressure. This is where it gets dangerous one last time, because whatever decision they make, half the fan base is going to react. If it's Watson, people will say it was forced. If it's Shedeur, people will say it was rushed. There's no easy way out of this. So now, I'll leave it with you. Is Shedeur Sanders actually changing the energy inside that locker room? Or is this just early hype getting blown out of proportion? And if he keeps performing like this, how long can the Browns realistically keep him on the sidelines? Because one thing is clear, this quarterback situation just went from predictable to very, very interesting.